Hello, everybody. Welcome to Soul Academy. This is a channel about self-improvement, self-development, education, and ascending. Ascending. What am I talking about? I'm not talking about ascending a flight of stairs or a tall building. I'm talking about growing up, basically. So, I'd like to first talk about this word, charism. Charism comes from the Greek charis, meaning favor or grace. It shares its origin with the word charisma, but has a different meaning. A charism is a spiritual gift that we are all offered to aid us in fulfilling our life's true purpose. And you may be thinking at this point, Lewis, have you gone mad? And I'll be honest with you, there is a chance I've gone mad, yes. But I'd like you to know that I am a teacher. I'm a head of department at a college here in the UK, and I do that full time. So if I'm crazy, at least I'm able to get it together enough to do that. So why do I bring up this word charism? Well, I feel as though I have a calling to communicate certain things to the world, and the internet is just the perfect opportunity. It offers the perfect opportunity for me to do that. So what is the thing that I want to communicate? So I'd like to talk a little bit about the Magnum Opus. So the Magnum Opus is the great work. It's the one great work of alchemy. And it is here described by Catherine Beyer, historian, as a spiritual transformation, the shedding of impurities, the joining of opposites, and the refinement of materials. Exactly what the end result of this profound transformation is varies from author to author. It could be self-realization, communion with divinity, fulfillment of purpose, etc. Okay. So people that know me have probably noticed that I've undergone something of a transformation in the last few years. And largely it's been a result of undergoing this work. I used to be very unhappy. I was quite a depressed young person. And so I've done a lot of work to find my way out of that darkness. And I'd like to share those tools, the tools that I used to get out of that messy situation with you. Messy situation, that sounds wrong, doesn't it? I'd like to share the tools that I've used that have helped me with you. These aren't things that I've just made up. Many of these things are old teachings, ancient teachings, in fact, and they're all things that worked for me. So that is why I share them with you. So, charism, Magnum Opus. So, these are some of my thoughts recently. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time, but I've put it off. I haven't really done it, and And so recently I weighed up the pros and the cons. Why would I do it? Why would I not do it? So I'll go through those. The first of the pros is that I believe we need more people in the world who are not lying, people who are speaking the truth, not trying to deceive others. And what I've noticed about maturity and spiritual growth is that people who are more mature, people who have ascended up this ladder of spiritual growth, tend to speak the truth more. It kind of comes with the territory. And so if I can help people ascend in their spirit, then I will be creating more people who speak the truth in the world, which I think is essential, actually, for human survival. And it's probably more important than I can suppose. So, what else? Another pro, the truth awakens other people. It's sort of contagious. And this is the nature of education. Education, the word education comes from the Latin educatio, which means to lead out. It means to lead out of the darkness of ignorance and nescience and into the illumination of understanding and enlightenment. The truth sets people free from their self-deception. You might think that you're a person that doesn't lie, but maybe you're a person who lies to yourself without realizing it. And if you can stop lying to yourself, you will be set free of your own self-deception. You'll start treating yourself with more respect, because somebody you truly respect is somebody that you tell the truth to. If you lie to somebody, then you're not showing that person respect. Therefore, if you lie to yourself, you're not showing yourself respect. Another pro, I believe that this work will contribute, in some part, to the effort of ending human slavery on Earth. What? Whoa, that's a big statement. Well, I'm not saying that I'm going to end human slavery on Earth, but I believe that this work, by waking people up, or by offering people the tools so that they can wake up themselves, makes people less enslavable to start with, which I can prove later on. And it also brings people to an understanding where they don't wish to enslave others. They see no benefit in that. An enlightened person would not want to enslave another person. So I do believe that this work leads us into a world without slavery. It leads us away from a world of slavery. Okay, so another pro is that I believe that this effort will inspire others to become involved in this very cause. There may be other people out there who have the same thoughts as me, that want to share knowledge and understanding and insight to help others grow. And finally, if I'm to call myself a good person, then this is my duty. I can't just not do anything and believe that I'm a good person. That's not good. Doing nothing is not good. I mean, it's not necessarily bad to not do anything, but I wouldn't say that it's good. I mean, to be good, I need to act in the world. I need to do stuff, because then that stuff could be either good stuff or bad stuff. So those are the pros, anyway. So the cons. Why would I not do this? I think the biggest con was I was afraid, frankly. I was scared of ridicule. I was scared I'm scared of the internet, basically. People are going to come and take the mic and be horrible in the comments section. I have a fear about losing my livelihood. I'm scared that insane people on the internet are gonna try to destroy my life. I've also have fears about resources. Like, do I have time for this? It's not going to make me any money. Do I have enough stuff, things necessary to do this thing? Maybe I should be spending this time making more money rather than doing this. And finally, the last con was simply laziness, which I think that makes me a bad person, being lazy. And so when I put these things together, I have a list of quite profound and powerful reasons why I should do this. On the left, the pros. And the cons, all I have is fear and laziness, which, when you weigh it up, they just weigh nothing at all. And to think that I'm scared of the comment section, it's ridiculous. So after weighing these up, I just have no excuse. I can't not do this. So here I am doing it. Okay, so here is the curriculum. The what? The curriculum? What, am I at school? What, Lewis? Yes, it's a curriculum. This is Soul Academy, remember. There is a scheme, there is an agenda, and this is it. So to start with, there are 9 videos that I wish to create. This is the first one, the introduction, where I'm showing the curriculum intent, which hopefully I've conveyed already. The why, around this work. Why am I doing this? And also the scheme of work. This is the scheme of work. So in the next episode, maybe we could call it, I don't know, lesson number 2, video number 2, episode 2. I've not decided. In number 2, it's called Free Your Mind, and it's about the liberal arts. And when I say the liberal arts, I'm talking about the classical liberal arts. There are 7 of them, and they are divided into the trivium and the quadrivium. They're called liberal arts because they are designed to free your mind. They are designed to make a person unenslavable. These are ancient teachings that go all the way through all of history and are still present today. We may know them as the classical liberal arts now. And if you have a BA, then you are a Bachelor of the Arts. You are a Bachelor of these specific liberal arts. So that's the first thing. I was thinking, do I start with the head or do I start with the heart? And my heart was saying start with the heart, and my head was saying start with the head. In the end, I decided to go with the head, because if I start with the heart, I might scare people off, basically. They might just think that it's all spiritual woo-woo stuff and go. So we start with the liberal arts. These are ways in which you can understand the world and teach yourself things and attain some kind of discernment. Okay, so number 3 is called Peace in Your Heart. This involves certain spiritual teachings about how to find inner peace. And the 3 main tenets that I have for this are forgiveness, repentance, and gratitude. We're going to examine those things in a bit more detail, have a look at what various holy books have to say on these matters. Number 4, I want to talk about natural law, which relates to right and wrong, basically. It relates to good and bad, and it's a way for us to define violence. which is basically violation of natural law. It also explains things like the Eastern concept of karma, brings them into a bit more clarity, I have found, which has been a useful tool for me. Number 5, the planets. Actually, we're talking about specifically the 7 heavenly bodies as they've been known throughout history. These are the stars that move around, the bodies that move around in the sky, that are visible from Earth with the naked eye. So they are the Sun, Mercury, Venus, the Moon, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. We're going to put these around a heptagram, not a pentagram, a heptagram. And we will see how these planets have played their part throughout history and mythology, and how they are they're embedded in our daily lives, in things like the days of the week, for example. Number 6, mnemonics, which is the art of memory. That's something that I really would just like to talk more about in general. As a teacher, that's just one of the things that I want to teach, but there isn't like a subject. You can't do like A-level mnemonics. But I wish you could. I really value that as a subject, and so I want to talk about it a bit more. And we'll do some exercises in memory in that one, helping us to remember certain things better. We'll have a look at creating a memory palace. And then I will introduce you to a mnemonic that I personally hold to help me remember all of this stuff. Number 7, the Hermetic principles. There are 7 Hermetic principles. These date back to the ancient Egyptian god called Thoth, or Thoth, or Tote. I call him Thoth because I'm English. Thoth. No, wait. Thoth, I believe is how it's spelled. Excuse me. Regardless, we're going to explore the 7 principles of Thoth that were then passed on to Hermes, who was basically a Greek re-skinning of Thoth. And those Hermetic principles are statements relating to the nature of reality. All of them are statements that describe what is happening in really broad terms. And they all combine together to bring us to a clearer understanding of how reality operates. And they can be found in a book called The Kabbalion, which I will talk more about. Number 8, the major fears. Just as there are 7 planets, there are 7 days of the week, there are 7 Hermetic principles, there are 7 major fears. Each of them relate to a certain planet. And that one's, it's entirely negative, that episode. It's all about fear. But I think it's necessary to recognize the different major fears so that you can see where they exist in you, and you can make a decision about whether or not you want fear to rule you, if you want fear to control you or not. If you don't recognize that that's happening, then of course it will. Fear will control you if you don't see it happening. And the first step to getting over that is recognizing that it is happening. Just like earlier with my pros and cons, I recognized that there were some fears in me that were preventing me from doing this. And then when I really just laid it out on the table and looked at it rationally, I realized that those fears didn't stand up against reason at all. And then number 9, the totem. The totem is a series of, we could call them like symbols that stack on top of each other. You know, like a totem pole. You've got like different heads and they stack on top of each other. And these represent different stages of a person's development. So by ascending this totem and examining each of the parts, we can see how far we've come in our lives when it comes to growing up and becoming more enlightened. And we can see what's ahead of us. It's always good, I think, when learning to operate in what we teachers call the zone of proximal development, which basically is technical language for appropriate difficulty. You know, you don't want to learn things that are several steps ahead of where you are. You want to learn the thing that's the next step ahead. Yeah. And you don't want to learn things that you already know. Yeah? So by examining the different stages of development, we can enter into that zone, that learning zone, and we know specifically then what to work on. I'm going up 7 stages of the totem, but there are more, which I may include in that episode. So that's basically it. That's the current scheme of work that I'll work through. I expect that once I've got through that, there'll be more things that I want to say. So I'm not going to say that 9 is the final thing. But at the same time, there may come a time when this work comes to an end, and then I'm just going to say that's it. This isn't some kind of ongoing thing. You know, I'm not trying to carve out an endless career for myself out of this or anything like that. There's just things inside me that I want to get out. There's things I want to communicate. There's things that I want to teach. And they are things that have helped me to grow and develop. And I hope that they will help you too. So finally, just on a final note, I want to talk a little bit about Mother Nature. Meet Mother Nature, here she is. This is an old drawing that I found in a book called Alchemy and Mysticism by Alexander Rube from the Hermetic Museum. I love that book and I recommend it. But this is an image of Mother Nature, right? And this explains a concept really well to me. I really get this one. So at the front here, you've got Mother Nature walking along a path. So she's on the left there, walking along. And she's leaving footsteps in her wake. And behind her is a man. And the man really just represents man. And he's got a walking stick and a torch, and he's not really very able. He might be blind. And he's following the footsteps of Mother Nature. And this is the recommended course of action. Okay? You keep up with the natural order of things. This is how you live in harmony. If you are to trail too far behind the path, then you're in the past. You're out of the times, and the world will overtake you in a way which will lead to your well, it's a weak position to be in, let's say. And you don't want to deviate from the path, because that's to live in a sort of dissonance with reality, a disharmony, to not understand and go with the natural order of things. And you certainly don't want to race on ahead of Mother Nature, because there's no telling which way she's going to go, and you'll almost certainly go in a different direction to the way that Mother Nature was going to go. Does this make sense? Am I making sense to you at all? I hope so. This is how my mind works. It may not be how your mind works. So to live in harmony is simply to obey the laws of nature. And to live in disharmony is to violate the laws of nature. And if you violate the laws of nature, there will be consequences. If you do things that are wrong, not by consensus wrong, but if you do things that are wrong in terms of violating natural laws, then there are consequences. There are unavoidable consequences. And if you observe the natural laws and you take care to follow those laws, then there will not be negative consequences. At the very least, there will not be. And in many cases, maybe even in all cases, if you do this properly, your, or how could I say, a prosperous life will come naturally to you. It will be easy to prosper if you walk in harmony with Mother Nature. Is that the right way to put it? If you walk closely to Mother Nature and follow her footsteps. Okay, I've milked this metaphor about as far as it can go. If you've made it this far, thank you. Thank you for making it this far. I understand this first video is a bit janky. Maybe I'm stumbling over my words a little bit. I'm a bit unsure of myself. But, this is the start of something new, and it has to start somehow, and it's starting like this. So next time we are talking about the liberal arts. These are, actually I won't say what they are. If you want to know what they are, tune into the next episode. It's called Free Your Mind. You have been watching, maybe, or just listening to Soul Academy. My name is Lewis Fitzjohn. I hope to do some interviews as well, or have just conversations with people as part of this Soul Academy. Perhaps have guest speakers. I wish I had some fun kind of slogan that I could say at the end that was concise and rhetorical and exciting. But I don't have that right now. All I'll say is thank you very much, and I promise to do my best with this, and hopefully in the future I'll be less rambling and more confident. But thank you for joining me, and I wish you all the best. Okay, goodbye.